महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः।
ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योन्मुक्षीयमामृतात्।
समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Sadguru Brahma Vidvaram. Thank you so much, children, for this lovely video. So, did all of you participate in the Shiva quiz, the teaser quiz that we had sent? Anybody had tried? Any hands up? No? No? Okay, it was a bit tough. I myself was stumped in 2-3 places. Yeah, myself didn't know what the answer was. So, but it was very interesting to solve it because you get to learn. Like, okay, yeah, this is also Shivji's name. Oh yeah, that is also Shivji's name. Oh, this is the meaning of the name. Okay, so in that way, it was a very interesting quiz. So I really enjoyed solving the puzzle. I'm very sure that all of you know Swamiji. All of you are very familiar with Swamiji. You have attended many of his other 8GHT sessions, right? And I think many of you have also attended his annual camps, the Balvihar camps. Yeah, he's a very cool Swamiji. He is a very, very happening Swamiji. That's why children love him. All children love him, and he also equally loves all children. He loves taking classes for children. Actually, this 8GHT session that we are having is his brainchild. He wanted to impart our culture, our history to all the younger generation, and that's when he struck upon this idea and we started this session. Do you also know that Swamiji is a playwright and that he has written 2 plays? And the 2 plays were also played in Mumbai, in Chennai, in many cities they were played. Yeah, he is a playwright. He is super creative and he is extremely fun. So he goes on beach walks, he goes on city walks, he goes on cycling treks with the youth of Bombay. He's so cool. Okay. And so without taking any much further time, I welcome Swamiji to please start this month's session of 8GHT. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for being with us here today.
Hari Om. Thank you, Sapnaji. Hari Om to all the children and the Sevikas. So today is the auspicious day of Anant Chaturdashi. What do we do on Anant Chaturdashi? You can type in the chat. Do you know what do we do on Anant Chaturdashi? No. One is Visarjan of Ganeshji happens today. That is true. That Visarjan of Ganeshji actually is the the reason why it happens is because this Sarvajanik Ganesh Utsav for 10 days. So 4th Chaturthi it starts and then Chaturdashi it will conclude. But apart from that, there is a very special significance of this Anant Chaturdashi. Anant is Lord Vishnu. So on today, on this day, Lord Vishnu is worshipped. Ananta Puja is done today. And Vishnu Bhagavan is the one who pervades the whole universe. So the infinite consciousness pervades the whole universe, which today science is also saying that. Quantum physics is saying that the whole universe is made from consciousness, not matter. Consciousness is the basis of the whole universe. So we have been worshipping the Supreme Infinite Lord in different forms, but today is the day dedicated to worship Lord Vishnu. And do you know who is the favorite god of Lord Vishnu? The Lord whom Lord Vishnu loves maximum, who is he? Areva, Bhavya is saying Lord Shiva, correct? Arav also. Yes, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the favorite deity. Yes, Atharva, Supriya, Mahal, Pahal, all of them. Very nice. So today's our session is also based on Lord Shiva and his devotees. So when we speak about Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu also is pleased. So today we will do Ananta Puja through this story. And do you know what is the name of this month? Hindu name of this month. Right now, the month which is going on. What is the month? No, Shravan is not going on, not Kartik. Not Ashwin. Sanjit says Bhadrapad. Arav says Bhadrapad. Adarsh says Bhadrapad. Atharva Bhadra. Yes, Vedika Bhadrapad. So this is the month of Bhadrapad. Bhadrapad Chaturthi is when we celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi. Shukla, fortnight, first fortnight it is. Just before this Bhadrapad, what was the month? Just before Bhadrapad. Don't do Google search and all. I had told you to memorize all the names, in the first session, remember? Shravan. Wow, good. Some of you have said correct. Shravan. And Shravan month, the whole month is dedicated to which god? Lord Shiva. Yes. So do you know Lord Shiva is worshipped for maximum number of days in the whole year. Ganesh is worshipped for 10 days. You can worship whole year also, but festival wise I am saying. Devi is worshipped for how many days? 9 days. Okay. Only 9 days. How many times in a year? No, not 11 days. 9 is correct. But how many times in a year? Navratri comes how many times in a year? 4, 6, 9. Oh God, no, not that much. Once. 2. Bhavya says 2. Even earlier one person said 2. It comes twice. Navratri is twice. Chaitra Navratri and Ashwin Navratri. Twice. So Devi is worshipped for 18 days. Ganeshji worshipped for 10 days. But Shivji is worshipped for 30 days. Shravan month, full month one worships Lord Shiva. If you say Gupta Navratri, then 3. But that Gupta Navratri is not there in our scriptures. Our scriptures has only 2. Because Gupta Navratri some people have created. Anyway, so the point is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has 30 days of worship. And so, because we had Shravan month between last session and this session, I have chosen nice stories about Lord Shiva and his devotees. So tell me, can one have darshan of Lord Shiva or not? Yes? Very good. Very good. I am very glad you are all saying yes. Definitely we can have. And you know, yes, when a person wants to, one can have darshan of Lord Shiva. Correct. Intensity of our seeking, if it is there, Bhagavan manifests. In whichever form we want Bhagavan to manifest, Bhagavan manifests in that form. So, in the Gita, there's a very nice verse which says, Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya chitum ichhati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. So, before any rapper started using yo, Krishna Bhagavan says in the Gita, yo yo, twice he says, yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha. Whoever, whichever form the devotee wants me to give darshan in that form, when the devotee worships me, I will give darshan in that form. I will bless the devotee with more and more faith. So our forms, the forms of gods that we have, they are not imaginary forms, okay? And they are not just symbolism. Bhagwan exists in these forms and he will manifest when we sincerely pray and we want him to manifest. So there is a whole literature in Tamil Nadu called Periya Puranam. It is written by a great saint called Secular. And it has the lives of 63 great devotees of Lord Shiva, to whom Lord Shiva has given darshan. And these are all historical people. Because many times what happens, if any stories are told from Ramayana, from Puranas, from the Mahabharata, people say, oh, that is all, who knows whether it happened or not. So they are skeptic about it. Though we should not be, because all those things are true. They are real. The Ramayana, Mahabharata, they all have happened. Puranas also, they are not just imaginary stories. And they are definitely not mythology. So don't use the word mythology for them. They are not a myth. They are real. They have happened at some point in the time. So we should not consider them as myth. So this Periya Puranam has lives of 63 great saints of Lord Shiva. They are called Nayanars. Nayanars. Okay. So that's why our topic for today is the great Nayanars. Obviously, 63 of them I can't cover in one session. So we are going to choose just a few of them. So first story, let us see. Now this first story, the name of this person is Kalyanar. Then he is a devotee of Lord Shiva, Kalyanar, and he lived in a place called Tirukkadavur in Tamil Nadu, and he used to serve Mother Abhirami and Lord Amrita Ghatesha. These are names of Lord Shiva. Amrita Ghatesha is Lord Shiva, Abhirami is Mother Parvati. So he used to worship them. And how he used to worship them? Very special way. That he will collect, lot of, what they call in Tamil Nadu, we call it as samrandi. That is, there is a powder, incense powder. So you put that and you burn. So it will give nice fragrance for a long time. It will be there in that whole place. So he used to burn those, the incense. And every day he used to offer this. This much of incense he will offer. He goes to the temple, he takes all this, he offers. And he was extremely devoted to Lord Shiva. Most of the time his thoughts are only on Lord Shiva. So what he used to do, he used to chant the names of Lord Shiva. Namah Shivaya is one mantra. Namah Shivaya. 5 alphabets it has. Namah Shivaya. So he would chant Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. If you add Om, it will become Shadakshari mantra. Namah Shivaya is a Panchakshari mantra. Om Namah Shivaya is Shadakshari mantra. So he would chant the name of Bhagwan. Now what slowly started happening was that his mind was full time in devotion to the Lord, and he used to be in the temple, he used to serve Bhagwan, he used to, take care of certain things around the Lord. So he was not earning. Not that he was lazy, but his mind was full time remembering Bhagwan. He didn't want to leave the temple. He used to be there only. He used to serve Bhagwan. Now slowly, whatever wealth his parents, etc. had, on that he was subsisting, and then slowly that wealth all started deteriorating. It means it started decreasing. So a point came where, he had to sell away some of his ancestral ornaments, some silver utensils and all that. And even sometime later, he sold away his land also that he had. But he did not leave the worship of Lord Shiva. He had a family, he had a wife, he had few children also. And one day it so happened that it was a Monday. And do you know what is special about Monday? What is special about Monday? Swamiji, it is the first day of the week. Yes, people fast on Mondays, but why? Others say Shiva's day. Yes, it is the day of Lord Shiva. Favorite day of Lord Shiva is Monday. Why it is favorite? Somvar. No? Soma means the moon. And this moon was given that blessing by Lord Shiva, that whoever worships me on this day, that day I will be very pleased with that person and I will bless that person. And Bhagwan kept the moon on his jata also. The crescent moon is there on his jata. So it was a Monday, and for Shiva devotees, Monday is most auspicious. Now this Kalyanar had to light the incense. There is no money. Everything has been sold. Nothing is left in the house to sell now. And he was very sad. What to do now? Monday, and incense I have to offer to Bhagwan. So, his wife was very understanding. She was so supportive, so caring and loving. And in these difficult times also, where money, etc. is not there, she has been helping and taking care of the family a lot. Whole time this Kalyanar was in the temple. So this wife, she said that, there is no food also at home. Why don't you go? And she took out there is, from the Mangal Sutra, the little gold. So that she took out. She said, you go pledge this, get some money and bring some grains, food. There's nothing in the house. The children are hungry. Can you please do that? So now he is going. He says, okay, I will do that. He has that gold in his hand and he was going. On the way, what happened? He suddenly saw that there is one young merchant and he has a laborer with him. And his laborer is carrying one bag on his head. So this Kalyanar asked him, what do you have in this bag? He said, I have brought this incense and I am coming to the city to sell. That Kalyanar was so happy. He said, Arey Bhagwan, I am so grateful to you that I didn't have money, I didn't have incense. I was wondering how to worship you and you have come in this form. So he told that person, will you take this gold and give me that incense? That person was merchant, no, he said, yes, I will do, because he got so much more value. If he had sold the incense, he would have got some few copper coins, but now he's got gold. He happily gave the whole thing to him, to Kalyanar. Now this Kalyanar took that, very happy, he was ecstatic. He went into the temple, he lighted all the incense and he forgot everything about his wife and his children, and they are hungry. And the wife is sitting there saying, now it has become evening. Whole day, the children are hungry, some of them are crying, and the wife is also wondering where this Kalyanar went. We can't find him. And suddenly what happens? Their house has become 8-floored house. And there is food, there are grains, there is gold, there is silver, everything. As they have become rich. Now this Kalyanar in the night, they have to close the temple. They shook him, they said, Arey, you go now, we have to close the temple. Then he remembered, oh God, I left in the morning with this gold, and I was supposed to take grains and go. He was so upset, he was so apologetic, he was feeling sad. But when he came back, what happened? He saw that his whole house has transformed and he has become rich and wealthy. Immediately, he had tears in his eyes and he said, "Oh Lord Shiva, your grace is so much. You are unconditional. Just like you blessed Sudama, you have blessed me also." This is a real life story. So how Sudama was blessed? Sudama is not the only example. Kalyanar Nayanar is one another example of that. So all his children, his wife, everybody is so thrilled that Bhagwan's grace, that all this has come. So what happened? This news, obviously, suddenly that house has become 8 floored and this Kalyanar has become so rich. So the news has spread everywhere. And what happened? This temple, they called him, and the leaders of the village, everyone got together and they gave him a title. The title they gave him was Kunkiliya Kalyanar, meaning the incense Kalyanar, the Kalyanar who used to worship Bhagwan with incense. And everybody praised him, glorified him, but he was very humble. He said, "All this has happened only by grace of Lord Shiva. I have done nothing for it." Now, one day, a very interesting incident happened. In another place called Tirupananthal, Lord Shiva had bent, his lingam was bent to oblige a woman devotee. This woman devotee was not being allowed to have darshan or something like that. And so then, Lord Shiva bent the lingam, and that lingam was, tilted completely. So in the temple, if that lingam is tilted, then the priests and all of them, they were very surprised, and they said, "Oh, why did this happen? And we should make the lingam straight." And the king used to visit that temple. So the king will come, he will not like it. We have to make this lingam straight. So what they did, they tried to straighten the lingam using some people, but they could not. They tried their best to push that lingam back to the same level. They could not. Then they tied the ropes to the lingam, and these elephants were brought. And these elephants also were not able to make that lingam straight. Just think, huge elephants. They are trying to make that lingam straight, but it doesn't happen. See, that's why I'm saying these are all historical stories. These are not Puranic stories. Our faith increases when we read all these things. And Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, as a child, he used to read this Periya Puranam. And he developed so much of devotion for Lord Shiva based on this Periya Puranam. So they tried all different methods, to lift that lingam and make it straight, but that lingam is not tilting back to, it's not coming back to the original position. So finally what happened? Kalyanar had come to this place and he worshipped the linga. So when he worshipped the linga, everybody told him also that, we have to make this linga come back to the normal position. Can you help? So after he worshipped the linga, he offered incense, etc. to Bhagwan. Then what he did, he took a flower garland, and one end of the garland he tied on the linga, and the other end he tied on his neck. And he said, "Oh Lord, please accept my prayer. And if my devotion is true, please come back to the original position." And the very next moment, the linga came back to the position. He didn't have to pull or do anything. So the king was very happy. And the Chola king, that time, he was standing there, he was seeing all this. So he bestowed a lot of gifts and wealth on Kalyanar. They honored him and they saw him off to Tirukadavur. This is the story of Kalyanar Nayanar. One of the most simple stories, but very powerful. How Bhagwan Krishna blessed Sudama, that way Lord Shiva has blessed Kalyanar Nayanar. Now, another story. So, there is a place called Tirusainallur on the banks of the river Manni in the Chola kingdom. Again, all this is in Tamil Nadu. So, Vichar Sharma was born to a couple called Etchadatta and Pavitrai. The name of the child is Vichar Sharma. And this child has grown. He is 7 years old now. So they have to do the Janevu Samskar of the child. And on an auspicious day, they decide. So they do the Janevu Samskar, Gayatri Mantra he is initiated into. And this Vichar Sharma studies the Vedas. And in that his favorite portion is the Rudram Chamakam. You know, Rudram is very dear to Lord Shiva. And one chants the Rudram, which has the names of Lord Shiva. Even the Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya, Om Namah Shivaya, Trambakam Yajamahe, some of this what you heard in the beginning prayer, no? All these are found in the Rudram portion in the Veda. So these are Vedic mantras. So he used to love that. And he also loved one Gayatri mantra of Lord Shiva. Do you know every god has a Gayatri mantra? Gayatri mantra is there for every deity. Because the name of the mantra is Gayatri, it is because of the name of the meter. The chanda, in 24 syllables, the mantra will be there. That is called Gayatri mantra, 8 syllables per quarter. So the Gayatri mantra that we chant, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat. That is called Savitra Gayatri. It is a Gayatri mantra for Lord Sun. There is a Gayatri mantra for Lord Shiva also. So today we will learn that Gayatri mantra because Vichar Sharma, he used to love this chanting of this mantras of Lord Shiva, and Gayatri mantra of Lord Shiva is most beautiful. So what does it say? So listen to me. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. So this is the mantra. I'm going to type in the chat. We will chant this mantra 11 times today, okay? See, this is the mantra. So you chant with me. You have to close your eyes and imagine the Shivalinga and then chant. The meaning of this mantra is I am worshipping that supreme consciousness, Tat Purushaya Vidmahe, Mahadevaya Dhimahi. Who is Mahadeva? You know, those who drink nectar and become immortal, they are called Dev. But one who drinks poison and is still immortal, he is called Mahadev. जो विष पीकर अमर है वो है महादेव, जो अमृत पीकर अमर है वो है देव. Bhagwan Shiva is that, you know, Mahadev. So we worship Lord Shiva, who is Mahadev. May he take away all our, you know, poison of negativity, impurity in our mind. And Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. And may that Rudra, who is a destroyer of all negativities, bless all of us. So that is the meaning. So let us chant 11 times together, okay? Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. So tomorrow is Monday, okay? Chant this mantra. And if you have Bel Patra, you offer that to Lord Shiva. He loves it most. So this Vichar Sharma, he used to remember this and chant the names of Lord Shiva. And he memorized the whole Rudram Chamakam very quickly. So then one day what happened? He was going to his school, Vedic school. And on the way, he's going through the forest. There are some of his friends with him. They all are going together. Suddenly what he saw, that there is one cowherd boy who has brought the cows to graze in the forest. But this cowherd was hitting one cow with the stick. And that cow was in so much of pain, and this cowherd is hitting on with the stick. So this Vichar Sharma, he felt very upset. He said, what is this? Why are you hitting this cow? This cow gives so much of milk and so many other milk products, and the cow is such a selfless animal. Do you know everything in the cow's body, it is used by people. The cow's urine is used for medicinal purposes. The cow dung is a very good, what we call what is it? It disinfects the place. So they in the earlier days, they used to spread cow dung in the veranda, etc. Then the cow's milk, so many things are made from the milk of the cow. So like that, there are a lot of things. The cow helps a lot, and it's a very pious animal. It builds a bond so nicely with the owner. It doesn't harm anybody. So this cow, he was beating up. Vichar Sharma got very upset, and he said, we should take care of this cow with a lot of love, and why are you beating this? So he says that you go. He sent that cowherd boy away. He said, you go, I will take care of these cows and I will bring them back. He sent away his friends to the school, and he was taking care of these cows. And this cowherd boy went and he told the masters that, this Vichar Sharma is taking care of your cows. So he told me to come back. So I've come back. So for a few days, as this was happening, he used to take the cows into the forest and they used to graze and all that. But he was so loving to these cows that they started giving more milk. And these owners of these cows were very happy, saying, Vichar Sharma is taking such good care. This cowherd boy, he was treating them so badly. Now look at these cows, how much more milk they are giving. And what happened? Vichar Sharma, in the meanwhile, now see, when the cows are grazing, what will he do? So he built one Shivalinga with the mud available there. He built one nice Shivalinga. And he used to worship that Shivalinga. One day, when his worship was over, he told one cow, oh mother cow, you please come here, and will you give milk to do Abhishek on Lord Shiva? So this cow, she understands the feeling, and she knows the devotion of this Vichar Sharma also. The moment he tried to milk the cow, so much milk the cow just gave. And with that, he did the Abhisheka. It was so amazing that apart from whatever milk he gives to the owner, there is still lots of milk left. And he was doing this Abhishek. Now, what happened? The owners, they came to know. They became very greedy. Already they are getting much more milk than what they were getting before. Now they became very greedy. They said, what, this fellow is wasting milk on this sand. They didn't even consider that as Shivling. For them, it is sand. So they called his father, this Vichar Sharma's father, and they complained to him. So the father is this Echadatta. So they called him, they complained to him, look what your son is doing, he's wasting milk. So this Echadatta, he said, oh, he's just a small boy. I'm very sorry. I will teach him a good lesson. And he went to find his son. Now, while Echadatta goes and finds his son, we will have a debate, okay? The topic of the debate is the Abhisheka on Shivlinga done with milk, water and other items, is it a waste of resources or it is not a waste of resources? So you have to choose one side, okay? You have to choose for or against. If there are people who say for, you have to type in front of your name. If you can rename yourself as for and then your name. And if you are against, you say against. I am against Abhishek of Shivalinga with the milk. And if you say for, you say I am for that Abhishek should be done on Shivalinga with the milk. It is not a waste. So you do that, you rename yourself, then we will divide you into breakout rooms and you can have a discussion. Okay. Quickly rename yourself, come on. And Sapnaji will now allot you and you will have time for discussion. You have to discuss because now there will be debate. So how the debate will happen? So each group will get 15 minutes to discuss. They should put down their points. Then you will come back into this main session and each group will present their points. Once they present, each group presents their points, the discussion will again, you will again go into breakout room where you can find flaws in the opponent's argument. You have to you have to question that the opponent's arguments and again you will come back. You will challenge the opponents and the opponents then can defend themselves. Okay, so 3 rounds the debate will have. First round, each group present their arguments. Second round is the rebuttal round where you find the opponent's flaws in their arguments, and third is the defense round. Okay, understood? Okay, so welcome back all of you. Now, since we have only 2 of them for against, they will get the chance first. So now we are going to mark the debate, okay? How many arguments you present? First round, that many points you will get. So suppose for group presents 5 unique arguments, they will get 5 points. If against group puts 10 unique arguments, they'll get 10 points. So as many unique points you put, that many points you will get. That is the first aspect. Second aspect is you will have maximum of 3 minutes to present all your points. So you cannot repeat. And one person only from each group has to be speaking. Multiple people cannot speak. So I'm going to mute everybody and you decide who will be speaking for and who will be speaking against. Each round, there will be a different person who will speak. Same person cannot speak for all 3 rounds. Only that in the against group there are only 2 people, so 1 repetition will happen, but that's all right. Okay, so got it? 3 rules are there. Rule number 1, unique points. You have to present that many points you will get only in 3 minutes maximum. And same person cannot repeat. 1 person per group will speak. Same person cannot repeat in other rounds. These are first round rules. Now we will start with the against group. So in the for group, Veda is saying, in the against group, who is going to speak? Please type in the chat. Advik or Kalyani, who is going to speak? Kalyani will speak first. Okay, great. So Kalyani, you can unmute and speak, please.
Okay, should I go now?
Yes, your time starts now. Sapnaji, you can keep the track of time.
So I think that we shouldn't do Abhisheka because we shouldn't waste a lot of milk on Shivalinga. If we should only give 1 glass of milk to a Shivalinga, because milk can be used for other purposes as well, like giving it to people beforehand. And then milk can also be lined up in pots at temples, so when the people who need it come, we can give it to them. And then we should also not waste milk we shouldn't give too much milk to the Shivalinga because that would be wasting milk. And as I said before, it could be used for other purposes.
You are saying we should not do too much wastage, but little bit we can offer. Is that your stand? Second point you said was too much we should not offer. So are you saying little bit is all right?
Yes.
But then you are against team, na?
Yeah. But I'm just saying that we should only offer a glass, not 2 glasses, just 1 glass.
Quantity is not in question. The point is whether you should offer or not. Yeah, if you are saying no, you should not offer, then that is a complete against point. If you say little bit you offer, then you are talking for actually. You decide what you want to take a stand for. All right, so against team has given their argument. Now for team. Yeah, so against Kalyani says we shouldn't do it, right? Great.
Yes,
Now
Swami.
for
should-
team is Veda.
Veda speaking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Swamiji, the milk that we poured, it doesn't go waste because it will become Panchamrit and it becomes part of the prasad that's given to people after the puja is done because it's been blessed by God and it also becomes sattvic food.
Okay, then any other points?
Oh, she muted herself. Just 1 second.
Oh, yeah. And giving milk to Lord Shiva is not a waste because we're doing it for devotion. And it can be done in any amount. God will nourish it. It will become fertilizer to the plants and then we'll get air from plants. And if we don't have air, we'll die.
Any more?
Okay. Any other points? No?
I think she's muted herself again. Yes.
Lord Shiva, he has made the cows and the cows make milk. So if we put some milk, he has only created it so it won't be waste. And it's used for charity after worshipping. And we put milk because during the churning of the ocean, Shivji drank the poison, so his body becomes hot. So we pour the milk on him to cool him down. If we don't pour the milk, then he will burn away and then there will be no Shiva.
Okay. Great. 8 points are there by for team. 1 point is there by the against team. This is the first round over now. Now in the second round, what you have to do is you can discuss. You have only maximum 5 minutes. You can discuss how you want to counter the arguments of the opponent team and find flaws in the opponent team, both aspects. How to find flaws in the opponent team, you can question them, and your opponent team, when they are questioned, they should be able to defend. Okay, so you have to think about these two things and go back to your breakout rooms for 5 minutes only. Sapna ji, you can allot them.
Yes, I can allow. I'm just doing that. So total
Okay,
16.
some have come out. So against group has come out. For
Yeah.
group slowly they are coming out.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So for against group, are you who now? Who Advik will speak now? Advik will speak now. First time Kalyani spoke, so now Advik, right?
Advik, yes. Now Advik will speak.
Yeah.
And I think for the for group, Pahal is speaking.
Pahal is speaking.
Yes.
So let's speak now. This time the for group will speak first, but she hasn't joined yet. Why
Pahal
is
is
it?
there. She's back. She's back.
Okay, so now Pahal, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So now what you have to do is you have to counter the arguments of the opponent team.
Sir, can I ask a question from the argue?
Yeah, you can ask them a question also, and they have to note down. The against team has to note down the question and don't answer right now. We will answer in the defense round. The second round only should be to find find problems in the opponent's argument. You can ask a question also. Start, and you will have maximum 2 minutes for it. Yeah.
Yes.
Time starts now.
We can give few drops of milk to Lord Shiva, so there is no wastage of water. So tell how there is wastage of water in wastage of milk in few little drops.
Okay, so that is one argument. Anything else?
No, sir.
Only one.
Okay, only one argument. Fine.
Atharva has something to say, Sonji.
Otherwise, which group?
For. Should I unmute him?
No, but only one person is
Only
supposed
one
to
person.
speak, na?
Yeah,
One
Atharva,
person.
you message Pahal. What you
Yeah.
have to say. Then Pahal will say your point.
So now the against group, Advik, you can speak. Advik's time will start now.
Yes, Swamiji. Instead of the few drops of milk that we spend in the when we worship the Lord, we could donate it to the charity, and they would God. It is rightly said that God resides in everyone, so their God would be fulfilled. They would be happy.
But that the for team has already spoken in their first round arguments. Charity is a point they already covered.
So, like, instead of the few drops of milk that we give to Lord Shiva, we could give it to the poor people.
That's what they have covered that point in their argument, saying that once it is offered, we will do it as charity. That they spoke na, in point number 7, they spoke that in the first round. So you are not finding a fault in their argument, you are reiterating their argument. Any other problems in their arguments you have? They had put 8 points.
Swamiji.
Yeah, go ahead and
Yes.
speak.
They told that we could we could. They told that if we offer the milk to Lord Shiva and then take it, and then drink it, it would be the sacred Panchamrit. But no, like some substances, some substances like sindoor, if they mix with milk, they are harmful to our body.
So that is the opponent, that against team's objection is, if you take something which is mixed with all this abir and gulal and other things, then it will harm your body. So now the second round is over. In that, both have spoken one argument. Okay. Now the last round is the defense round. So in the defense round, you have to defend your argument against the question that has been raised by the opponent. So you have to answer the question. So now this round against team will start, and it will be again Kalyani who can speak. So the question that was asked, you have to answer that. And what is that question that you should know? You will have 1 minute to answer.
I think we shouldn't give. I think we shouldn't give milk to God because we don't even know God exists. And if He doesn't, it'll be a waste when we could be using it for other purposes.
No, what the objection that they had raised was, if you give even just a few drops, it is enough, so it will not be a waste. That was their point. So what is your defense of that?
Like against him, I don't really have any defense against that because we still give a few drops of milk. But I just thought I only picked the defense team. I mean, like the against team, because I thought that we shouldn't give too much milk.
Okay. So no, basically no defense for few drops. Too much milk is a waste. So that is your answer, right? Okay. Now for the for team, who is going to speak in this round? Chaitanya is going to speak. Okay.
Bhavya is also asked.
You have to decide now. So many of you are wanting to speak. Hello. 3 of you are there. Now you have to figure out which one person. Now 4th, Sanjit also has started. I am fixed. So Chaitanya, chalo. Now. Chaitanya is the first one. You can give the rights. Sapna ji.
Yes. I'm just searching. Where is Chaitanya? Just 1 second.
Yeah, for Chaitanya. Yes.
Chaitanya.
Yeah, Chaitanya, go ahead.
Okay. So, Swamiji, she said that if you put few drops, it is okay. Yes, but the boy's devotion is also important. He was more devoted to Lord Shiva. That's why he put more milk. And if he put and the cow boys, they made their profit. After all, though they earned their profit, they were greedy. So if they are earning their profit and everyone is getting what they want, then what is the objection if he puts some more milk on Lord Shiva?
Okay, so that is you are connecting to story. Right now, the discussion is not only limited to the story. The discussion is in general, should the Abhishek be done or not done? So, and your defense has to be for the point of objection raised by the opponent team. The objection of the opponent team was that when Abir, Gulal, other things are mixed and then that milk is distributed as prasad, then it will become harmful to the consumer of that milk. So Abhishek should not be done. That was their question. That was the flaw that they pointed in the argument. So how will you defend that?
Okay, it is a good point. But in Panchamrit, we don't put gulal, sindoor, abir. We don't put that. So it will not be harmful to the consumer.
Right. So your defense is we generally don't put all this. We have only specific items which we put, and so it will not be harmful. All right. So that is good. As far as the debate is concerned, the debate is the first round. For team had 8 points, against team had 1 point. Second round, The for team and against team both had 1 point. And the third round, the for team was successfully able to defend their argument. The against team was not able to defend. So the for team has 10 points, against team has 2 points, and so the for team is the winner. Now that is as far as the debate is concerned. But we will go into this little more. Some of you wanted to speak something. I'm going to unmute. You can quickly speak. Yeah, Atharva, what you wanted to speak? Go ahead.
Argument. So I had an argument
Tell me.
that Lord Shiva has made milk and everything. He is the creator of everything. And can't we give little milk to God to worship him?
Correct. So good. That's your argument. Nice. We can definitely give, as long as we are also ensuring that that milk is used as prasad and distributed. That is the tradition in our culture. The milk is collected and distributed. It was not wasted. If you see in a temple after a puja, they give tirtha, no? What is that tirtha? That is abhishek water or abhishek milk, that is called as the tirtha. Then we forgot those traditions and then the milk is getting wasted. Then that is a problem. Milk should never get wasted. That is true. It has to be distributed as naivedya, as a prasad. Vedang, quickly.
हमें भक्ति भावना अंदर से अच्छी रखनी चाहिए, उसे बनाने के लिए और भगवान को समझने के लिए हम अभिषेक और पूजा करते हैं।
बहुत ही बढ़िया। तो भक्ति भाव से हम जो ऑफर करते हैं वो वेस्ट होता नहीं, और हम उसको भक्ति की अभिव्यक्ति मानते हैं कि हम भगवान के प्रति, जब हम भक्ति होती है तो भगवान को जो प्रिय होता है वो हम देते हैं, और फिर उसको हम प्रसाद के रूप में सबको बांटते भी हैं। तो इससे भक्ति की अभिव्यक्ति होती है। बहुत बढ़िया। लिखित। Yes.
I do abhishek. I do abhishek and I drink the milk after doing the abhishek in the form of naivedya. So no waste is going.
Superb. So very good. So you do the abhishek, collect it, then you drink it. So that is called prasad. That is called not naivedya, but that is called prasad. What you offer to Bhagwan is called naivedya. Then what you are taking after offering, that is called prasad. So very good. So we can do that also. Every day we can do abhishek and take that as our prasad. Very nice. Sanjit.
Actually, I wanted to defend their thing.
Yeah.
That the logic isn't there. They're saying that if you mix milk with this and whatever, it becomes harmful. That's the reason you should not do abhisheka.
But you are in the for team, na? So okay.
Yes,
but
I'm
the
defending it because there's no logic really.
To not doing abhisheka or to doing abhisheka.
See, if you mix milk with this and becomes harmful, because you mix that and it's harmful, you don't do abhisheka.
So you are saying we should not mix and do abhisheka. That's what you are saying.
Yes.
So that is your defense, right? So we need not mix these things, but with just let us say only milk and curd we can offer, and then it doesn't become harmful. That's what you are saying, right?
Yes.
So that is true. That is how it actually happens. See, there are different dravyas. 11 things generally get offered to Lord Shiva, and there's a sequence in which they are offered. All the edible items get offered first, and they will get collected. That is distributed as prasad. Then they will offer separately kumkum water, chandan water, bhasma. Then they will offer this, there's one more, haldi, kumkum, chandan, bhasma. They will offer all that after that. Then they will offer lime juice. So lime juice and milk again is not mixed. Then they will offer again this sugarcane water or any other fruit juice. So very clearly there will not be mixture of things which are going to be harmful. That is how abhisheka is done. And all that chandan water etc. also, when it is taken, it is offered away in the plants actually. The water, when it goes down, it is supposed to be going into the plants, into the soil. It is not supposed to get wasted. Okay, so you have a lot of points to say, each of you, but I have to complete the story also. So go ahead quickly.
Swamiji, actually, they were talking about how the milk will be harmful, but then after the milk, the leftover milk is received, then we can purify it and then drink it.
That choice also one has, but as long as you are not mixing it with something else, then there is no problem. Even the mixture you can take, like if you offer milk, you offer honey, you offer curd, you offer sugar, you offer ghee, all those are edible. Even if they mix with each other, there is no problem. That's why it is called Panchamrit. Then one consumes that. Even if you mix milk, water with that, no problem. But don't mix the other items. Then to purify them is not easy. You cannot add chandan, kumkum, etc. in the milk and then consume that. Arav.
Yeah, if we want to offer the gulal and everything, we can make another small idol and then offer it to that without doing abhishek on that, and then we can put it inside the water and dissolve it.
That is one option you have, but ideally what we actually do, in a puja, if you remember, so when you take bath, after you finish taking bath, you put powder on your face once you wipe your face and you wear clothes. That is how for Bhagwan also, when we do the abhishek, after the abhishek is done, the idol is clean, the Shivlinga is cleaned properly, then vastra is offered, clothes are offered, then we offer chandan, kumkum, akshat, gulal, bhasma, all that. That is separate, like a decoration we offer on the same murti. So that is how it is done. Generally, it is not mixed up like that. Abhishek will generally be done with water or panchamrit, or maximum the other items what I said on special occasions. Okay, Pahal. Last 3 people only now. Okay, then we have to complete the story. Pahal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is called Shodashopchar Puja.
If you mix all the ingredients for the abhishek, it's okay, but you can keep another different prasad also for Lord Shiva, and you can keep the abhishek water to the people tree.
No, but if you mix everything, you can't give that abhishek water to people.
But we can give it to the people tree, and although you can make different prasad for Shiva.
But that sometimes if you are doing small quantity, you can offer that to people tree. Ideally, it is that you should not mix those items so that we can distribute what is offered as abhishek to the people and devotees, and people can consume that. Only if some things get mixed up, like what I said, haldi, kumkum, that water you can go and offer to people tree, but don't mix the contrary things together. Okay, Likhit.
I have a question.
Tell me.
The tilak of Shiva, Tripundrak is the tilak, na? So Tripundrak does not get mixed with the milk. After milk, we put Tripundrak.
Yeah, so we see Tripundra is put after we do the puja. When we apply bhasma to Bhagwan, after Abhishek, everything is over. Then we apply. After applying to Bhagwan, after puja is over, then we apply the Tripundra. So it will not get mixed. Okay, last question. Then we have to complete the story. Nidhi.
Yes, Swamiji. I just wanted to defend the point that the against team said that the Panchamrit is not safe to drink. So it's like Panchamrita itself means 5 things, that is milk, curd, ghee, sugar and honey mixed together. So there's no other substance included in it and it's completely safe to drink.
Correct. So it definitely is safe, is very healthy also. So now, see, one point we have to understand is definitely no resources should be wasted. Point one. Tradition is that we never waste. And even what is offered to Bhagwan, collected, distributed to people. In this, also we should know some symbolism. See, when in a temple an Abhisheka is offered, temple is a place where lots and lots of people come for many, many years together. So the vibration in the temple is very different. And in that temple, when milk is offered, water is offered, then what happens is the energy and the vibration in that place charges the water. That when you consume, it will have a very different impact on the body. So we should not forget the energy aspect of this. And you know, there is experiment done by Dr. Emoto from Japan, that how if you play music, the molecules of water will change. If you play very fast music and you keep water nearby, the molecular structure of water changes. If you play soothing music, the molecular structure of water changes. If you shout, you get very angry, you get upset, and you become violent, then the molecular structure of water changes. If you become peaceful and you send prayer and you are sending loving thoughts, then the molecular structure changes. So water is something which gets affected by the energy and the vibration around. And generally, Shivlinga, the Abhishek is done with water. And that water, when you consume with the chanting of the mantras and the energy of the whole temple, it is a very, very powerful sacred water. And that's why only 1 spoon or 2 spoons are given. The one doesn't drink glasses and glasses full of that. But it is surcharged water. So there is energy also around that Shivalinga, which is very helpful. Plus, symbolically, it represents that, you know, continuously, if you see on a Shiva in a Shiva temple, there's a tripod, there's a pot, and there's water which is dripping continuously. It is to say that our mind must have that much of concentration. Like every time what we do, we should do with full focus and concentration. And we should remember that everything is done by Bhagwan. He is the real doer. We are only the instruments of the Lord. So there a lot of symbolism is there in Abhisheka. And like one of you said very beautifully in the arguments earlier, that there is also that Lord Shiva has poison in his neck and he has fire here. The third eye is fire and one eye is sun. So there is a lot of heat on the body of Lord Shiva. And there is Gangaji on his head and Abhisheka is being done on his Shivalinga. So that is the Puranic way to describe that when Bhagwan is going through such difficulties for us, what are we doing for him? He took the poison to save the world. So what can we offer to the Lord? So let us do something which pleases him and which keeps him cool and calm. So Abhisheka is done based on that. So there is spiritual significance that if continuously our mind thinks of the Lord, you know, what we think about, we become that. If you continuously think positive thoughts, you become positive. If you think negative thoughts, you become negative. If you think divine thoughts, you become divine. So there's beautiful symbolism behind Abhisheka. So we should ensure that we don't waste resources, but we should also do the Abhishek. We should not avoid doing the Abhishek, and we should benefit from it materially, spiritually, culturally, scientifically, from energy standpoint, from all different standpoints. If you think, Abhisheka is very, very beneficial. It is a beautiful practice to be done. Now, coming back to that story, this Vichar Sharma, he was doing Abhishek with that milk, and his father, Echadatta, he went to find this Vichar Sharma, and he found this son, and this Shivalinga is made, and this Abhishek is happening. So he got very angry, and he said, why are you behaving like this, wasting milk, putting it in the sand? The son said, no, this is not sand, this is Lord Shiva. And the cow is giving this milk, and the cow also knows this is the Lord Shiva, and she out of her joy is giving that extra milk. And this is not getting wasted also. The owners, they are getting good money, already more money they are getting than before. And this is the feeling of me, my devotion. This is the devotion of the cow, and Bhagwan is accepting our devotion. And this milk is going back into the ground, into the forest, into the soil. And the cow eats that grass from that ground only. So what is the waste? There is no waste. But this father was not happy at all. See, he didn't want to collect that and distribute to poor people. He was under the pressure of these owners to collect all the milk and make maximum money. So he got very upset. And what did he do? The milk which was there, 2 pots of milk were there. He kicked those 2 pots. So anyway, that milk got wasted. And he got so angry. Vichar Sharma said, you have kicked this offering to Bhagwan. And he saw nearby there was a stick. He took that stick and he hit the feet of his father. But what happened was, the anger with which he hit the father, the stick became like an axe, and the father's feet were cut from below. So this father had fallen down, and he was in a lot of pain. This Vichar Sharma, he recognized this, oh, what happened? But he didn't intend to do this. The father kicked away that milk, and he was going to kick the Shivlinga after that. So to defend that Shivlinga, he hit. Now at that time, what happened? Bhagwan manifested. Lord Shiva manifested then and there. And Bhagwan said, I am very pleased with your devotion. I give you the position of my Gana. Bhagwan said, you will become one of my attendants. And he says, Chandeshwara Pada. That is the name of the Gana, Chandeshwara. So he said, I will make you Chandeshwara. You will constantly attend to me. And I will also give you the garland on my jata. So Bhagwan took a garland from his jata and offered it, put it around the neck of this Vichar Sharma. And that garland made from kondrai flower, he placed it on Vichar Sharma's head. So in this way, this Vichar Sharma, he became Chandeshwara Nayanar. And you know, this Chandeshwara Murti is one of the 64 most auspicious forms of Lord Shiva. And even today, if you go to the temple in South India called Gangaikonda Cholapuram, in that you have the, in Tanjavur, you have the biggest temple of Lord Shiva. Most grand temple is the, not biggest, it is a very grand temple. It is the Brihadishwara temple. And near that Tanjore, there is Gangaikonda Cholapuram. There also there is a Shivalinga. There is also the beautiful Shiva temple, similar to this Brihadishwara temple. There you will find a full sculpted depiction of this story that I have said. And there you find that Lord Shiva, Mother Parvati, both are there, and they are offering this garland to this Vichar Sharma, who is now called Chandeshwara Murti Nayanar. So this is a beautiful story of 2 Nayanars, Kalyanar Nayanar and our Chandeshwara Murti Nayanar. There are 63 such stories. 61 balance are remaining. So you can get this Periya Puranam and read sometimes. The stories are very nice, and all these are historical stories. And let us invoke grace of Lord Shiva, that Shiva means one who is most auspicious, positive, peaceful. May Bhagwan make our mind most auspicious, positive, peaceful, and may we serve everybody in this world, not wasting anything. Let us serve everybody in this world and be happy, make others also happy. That is how these Nayanars also lived their life, making everybody happy, living selflessly. Where will we get the remaining 61 stories? On the net, you have a lot of books available. So, Periya Puranam, you have to search for this book called Periya Puranam. And some of the stories are there even in pictorial form. So, in Ramakrishna Mission also they have brought out nice books where they have illustrated, like Amar Chitra Katha, they have illustrated these stories. So I'm just putting the names of these two books. You can search, you can find. One is Stories of the Devotees of Lord Shiva by Ramakrishna Mission, and two is Periya Puranam. Periya Puranam is published by a lot of different publishers. You can take the Periya Puranam from Ramanashram also. Okay, so these are two books which you can refer if you want to know more stories. Om Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadev. When we say
Har
Namah Parvati
Mahadev.
Pataye, we have to do this. Okay. So
Har
again,
Har
once again,
Mahadev.
come on. I'm going to put you all on gallery. Put on your videos. When I say Parvati Pataye, then you have to lift the hands and say Har Har Mahadev. Okay. Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har
Lift
Mahadev.
the hands, because when we are drowning, then we asking for help. Bhagwan, please help me, help me, help me. And also another sweet reason is there. You know what? When a small child is there, no, and the child is tired of walking, then what the child does? Mummy, lift me. I'm tired. I don't want to walk. Please lift me. So like that, we are telling Bhagwan, I'm tired in this samsara. Now you please lift me. I want to be one with you. Come on, lift me up. So Bhagwan says, come, my dear child, I will hold you. So Har Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadev. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the session.
Thank you
Yes,
so
Haji,
much.
go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Swamiji. It was beautiful stories and a very, very awesome debate. This is exactly the kind of questions I had as a child, and to have our doubts and misconceptions cleared in such an engaging way, it's truly a blessing for us. Thank you so much, Swamiji, and all the children for your enthusiastic participation in the debate too. I would like to give my thanks for again Swamiji for setting up wonderful, enlightening, engaging session, imparting our cultural heritage, our spiritual knowledge to light our minds. These sessions are truly one thing that I think all of us look forward to every month to attend eagerly. I would also like to thank all the sevaks, the sevikas, the Balvihar children and the parents who worked really hard for making this September session such a success. Thank you so much. We will, I also want to inform that there were three prize winners, not prize winners, but three winners of the crossword, Shivji's crossword competition. The first prize goes to Veda, the second prize goes to Rudra, and the third prize goes, just one second, I'll just tell you the third prize winner. The third prize goes to, sorry, I am in the wrong tab. Just one second. Yeah, Kiran Sharma. I don't think she is part of the session today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kiran Sharma gets the third prize.
You check on the Telegram group, all of you. We will be putting up the answers for the crossword, so that nice names of Lord Shiva you will come to know.
Yes, 11 different forms of Lord Shiva. Now, I would like all the children to please join us for the Chinmaya Mission Pledge, followed by the Shama Pratna and Aarti. All of you, please, hands.
We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities, give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat.
There's a whole screen blocking.
करचरण कृतं वाक् कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वापराधं विहितमविहितं वा सर्वमेतत् क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो।
कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि।
न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नीमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति।
I would now like to conclude this session with the closing prayers. Everybody, please sit up straight, join your palms, and please chant with all of us.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय।
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
Hari Om. Thank you, everyone. Nice debate we had. Wonderful participation all of you did. We will meet again next month.
Next month.
Hari
Thank you
Om.
so much. Thank you so much, Swamiji.